I've played a lot of video games throughout my life, and I consider myself to be a bit picky when it comes to games. I've always found that I enjoy a game more if I can customize my character to make them look more interesting and special to me. Whether that's changing their entire appearance down to the height of their cheekbones, or simply slapping on some new pants and a shirt over their original clothing. I've never been a huge fan of first-person shooter games, or shooter games in general, I suppose. However, an exception to this is the game Team Fortress 2, or TF2 for short. But I mostly play for the massive slew of cosmetics that are available. You only get one basic character that remains unchanged, but you can add special items like pants or a hat to make them feel new and fresh. The game also allows you to directly purchase things that you want. Say you want new headgear or a shirt, you can buy it for a few cents, no strings attached. However, if you want to try your luck, you can pay a small sum of money, around $1.80 to $2.50, to open a loot box, called a crate, in the game. These crates usually have a list of a few items that you have a chance of obtaining, usually divided into rarities. There are three main rarities in TF2: unique, strange, and unusual, with unique being the least valuable and unusual being the most valuable. It's basically a gamble every time you buy a loot box. You can either win big, or lose, and lose, and lose some more. But of course, if you're lucky, you could get an item potentially worth thousands of dollars. It's like going to a casino in Vegas from the comfort of your own home. There are plenty of videos showcasing people spending hundreds of dollars on loot boxes and making basically no profit. They are about as reliable as a raincoat made of toilet paper. I myself have even fallen into the trap of buying loot boxes, but usually only one or two at a time, usually getting significantly less than what I paid. These few attempts have sort of sullied the magic of crates, and I try to avoid them whenever possible. So, are TF2 crates worth it? Not really, but I still think they've been handled well enough. At least you can still play the game in its entirety without having to fork over your entire college fund and maybe a kidney to be able to have fun. Shooter games usually reward people for taking the time to learn the mechanics of the game and improve via practice. Most of the time, someone who's just installed the game will have a natural disadvantage when fighting against someone who's played for a while and is familiar with the way the game works. Then in strides Star Wars Battlefront 2, the kicker of puppies, crusher of dreams, according to Reddit at least, and one of the poster children of lootbox controversy. Like many other games, you have the ability to level up certain characters to increase their strength. This is where the first problem arose. In order to level up your character, you need to obtain star cards, which increase the strength of characters' abilities and can grant new abilities. They come in 4 rarities: common, uncommon, rare, and epic. These cards are a fundamental aspect of the game, and pretty much any and all progression is tied to them. However, in order to get them, you had to spend real money and or try your luck with loot boxes. You could know absolutely nothing about the game, but because you spent money and gambled, you could be just as powerful than someone with hundreds of hours who hasn't spent money. This kind of defeats the whole idea of having a learning curve and actually needing time and effort to get good at the game. It's one thing to have gambling mechanics via loot boxes in a game, but it's another thing entirely to have them directly affect gameplay and give people with money an advantage over those who don't. At least in Team Fortress 2, you can avoid spending money and buying loot boxes. A few countries have even banned or put heavy restrictions on loot boxes because of the controversy. Places like Belgium and the Netherlands have outright banned loot boxes, and other places like China and Australia have put more strict regulations in place. I guess what I'm trying to say is loot boxes can be a decent thing if they're done correctly. However, if a game is completely saturated with them, they can make the experience unpleasant and make a game break down, just like a toilet paper raincoat.